E3 may be dead, or at least no one's shoved a broom handle up its decaying arse to make it dance horrifyingly around lately, but that hasn't stopped the big publishers from dropping their showcases of new game trailers around the same time of year, possibly by the same principle the zombies in Dawn of the Dead kept showing up to the mall out of some vague understanding that it was something that was important to them in life. And so even in the post-E3, post-ZP world, I must once again accept my solemn duty to whittle all over the big money industry's sandwiches. Don't worry, I've got plenty of whittle stored up. In fact, your own artisanal sourdough looks like it could use a little moistening, gaming public, because I'm very disappointed in the shortness of your memories. You remember we're supposed to be down on AAA game development right now because it's basically an industrial dream-crushing machine for ambitious STEM graduates that pounds them into mush for the sake of making bland, overpriced shite marginally prettier, then shuts down their studio anyway because apparently making good games that turn a profit isn't enough to appease the corporate overlords anymore, and they'd have had as much luck trying ritualistic chicken sacrifice? Remember that? Remember how mad you got? But then, Xbox dropped a few trailers showing how realistically the light plays off the oiled nipples of its upcoming dream-crushing machine, and so the media rolled onto its back and offered to lick the bits of game developer brain off their fucking boots. This shit hasn't gotten any more sustainable now that the prisoners in the Ubisoft programming dungeons, the Oubliette, if you will, are making the first open-world Star Wars game, and oh crikey, when the Star Wars Outlaws gameplay trailer started with those words, I can't have been the only one who immediately started searching their memory. Jedi Survivor? Souls-like? Arguable, really? Ooh, MMOs, there we go. What's Star Wars The Old Republic then, Ubisoft? A puddle of poodoo on a hot paving slab? Anyway, Star Wars Outlaws, or Star Cry, as I shall dismissively call it, looks like yet another Ubisoft open world stamped out of the Far Cry template with a million competing mechanics and zero focus, pounded into flavorness and stretched out for as broad appeal as possible like a piece of chewing gum in the hands of a bored high school student. I look forward to it continuing the pattern for Star Wars media these days, everyone forgetting all about it roughly a month after release. The other thing Ubisoft had was Assassin's Creed Shadows, the first ever Assassin's Creed game set in Japan, besides the other one. Yeah, now I see why Sony released Ghost of Tsushima on Steam the other week. They'll never do that with their exclusives to be nice, or because it would earn them money. If they did, Bloodborne and Infamous would be up there, but if that can't motivate them, there's always good old-fashioned spite, apparently. Oh, Assassin's Creed with samurais, is it? Shame we did that already. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows. And just to repeat myself, what does a new Assassin's Creed game even mean anymore? The overarching story stopped being about anything roughly 19 games ago. All they do now is dress up the stabbing of the dudes in new historical reenactment costumes. I vaguely remember once joking, probably around the time Assassin's Creed Revelations came out, that the series is just going to go on till they've used every cliched sequel subtitle word they can think of, and it's nice to see that's an evergreen, snark. Thanks, Ubisoft, you're like the most productive cow in my organic snark farm. I can always rely on you when I need to put some motherfucking yogurt on the table. Sony's state of play was kind of pathetic, a couple of lackluster announcements and a port or two, and I always wonder why I haven't seen more of the Silent Hill 2 remake by now, but then I remember every time I try to watch footage of it, I dry heave so hard my glasses fly off. So Xbox are generally agreed to have, quote, won this year after Arcane and Tango Gameworks got shut down for not sacrificing their chickens properly or something. Microsoft apparently hoped to weasel out of that loss of goodwill with a charm offensive, emphasis on offensive. Kind of feels like a Deep South plantation owner saying, sorry we enslaved all those African people, but hey, look at all this cotton you can buy from me now. Fucking worth it! So we have Doom the Dark Ages, it's Dark Fantasy Doom, which I preferred when it was called Hexen, which I preferred when it was called Quake 1, which I preferred when it was called Painkiller, etc, etc. Am I the only one who reacted to the gun that shoots ground up skulls of your enemies with, oh come the fuck on? What is it about the continued emphasis on the blank slate Doom protagonist as unstoppable murder man that gives me midlife crisis vibes? It's like Breaking Bad with demon murder instead of meth. If the game over screen features a slow zoom out from a splattered giblet with 70s rock music playing in the background, you'll see what I mean. Staying on the subject of shooters, Gears of War is demonstrating the best approach to take when the last game's ending writes you into a corner, slam on that reverse gear and keep driving till your car speeds straight off the pier at the end of Prequel Bay. For the first time, we will learn the real story of how the fight between mankind and the Locust truly began. I'm guessing it will involve mankind, right, getting into fights with some Locust. Lots of them, like 10 to 15 hours of them probably. Besides that, much of the Xbox showcase was an exercise in here's name you recognise, it's on something you don't recognise at all. Psych! So we've got a new Dragon Age, whose trailer apparently thinks it's a magenta hero shooter, doing that magenta thing where they display a character's name in a unique font and freeze frame on them at the precise moment before a fist from off-screen can very satisfyingly smash them in the face, and count the number of times the gameplay trailer interrupts itself with a black screen and let's skip ahead to the next story event. What do you think they cut out? Remember, they'd show you it if it'd sell the game, so probably lots of grindy boring combat, I shouldn't wonder. Also, here's a game called Perfect Dark and another game called Fable. And as for how they relate to previous games called Perfect Dark and Fable, if they have a single individual developer in common, or if you can expect more of what you got from those games, side note, let's hope not, because a decent percentage of what you got from them was a load of old wrinkly bum bags, or which if any of the property's original creators stand to benefit from this exploitation of their hard work we're dredging up for our giant bin of IPs we arrogantly claim to possess, who the fuck cares? It's a name you recognise, get wishlisting, you predictable fucking cows. Oh, hello Nintendo, you're here too. Sorry, I thought you were busy playing with your belly button fluff as always. Let's see what you've got. Okay, Brothership isn't a word, but whatever. A new Zelda where you play as Zelda. trailer. Maybe that'll finally clear up the confusion my grandma always had. But wait, here's the cherry. At long last, Metroid Prime 4. Beyond. And it looks like a Metroid Prime game. I'm sorry, I just can't summon enthusiasm. Not for a 2025 release date, and certainly not for that fucking subtitle. You've been teasing and denying this for too many years, Nintendo. I've been chained to the bed so long I don't even want you to finish sucking me off. I just want to get some dinner, and I guess call the police.